The following is a community-produced program brought to you by the Manitoba Curling Tour.
Welcome to the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club for the men's final game of the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. I'm Resby Coots.
And I'm Jessica Cable, and thank you for tuning into our community-created broadcast, which means with the help of Shaw TV staff, this broadcast was created by volunteers from the community. Resby, you were one of those volunteers. What has the experience been like for you?
Well, it's been wonderful. I've worked with Shaw before in various times and on the commercial side of things, and the opportunity to work with your staff are wonderful. Helping a guy who, I've got a little bit of experience, but from that side, it's been different and unique, and it's been a lot of fun so far, and of course today is the final product, so we find out, but really excited about a couple of really good curling games today.
And we are also joined by some really good commentators. Maureen Bonner and Kathy Gauthier are joining us today. Now, they have been here before in a different position, and you have a little inside scoop for us.
Some years ago, Maureen Bonner actually won this championship twice, and Kathy Gauthier has only ever won it once. I'm not so sure they'll even remember who they played with. It's that many years ago. But it's great to have Kathy and Maureen help us out.
Awesome. Let's head over to them right now.
Thanks, Jess. It's a great opportunity for Maureen and I, usually playing together, a chance to work together, and it should be a great day of curling. First the men's final and then the women's. Let's focus on the men's. You know, Maureen, we're talking about when we were coming through playing in the ranks, we didn't have the opportunity to play for a berth. How big of a deal is that?
Kathy, this is huge. These two teams have just kind of thrown their name in the hat this year, and to come out to have the chance to get a berth from this is a big deal.
We're talking about David Bone, somebody that we've seen in the Manitoba Championships before for sure, and Daley Peters, probably the best known for his success in juniors. How would you rate this or handicap this game?
Well, this is pretty even, I think. Both of these teams have the skill level to play, and they're great curlers through and through, so I'm looking forward to this matchup. This will be an interesting matchup. They've played past throughout the years, so this will be interesting.
When you look at the teams that we have today, and then you look at someone like Mike McEwen, who is taking the world by storm, how do these teams match up for whoever goes on to the championship?
Well, kudos to the McEwen team. They have just been on the tour on fire all year, so that's exciting. I think, you know, from that perspective, it gives something for these guys to shoot for. You know, McEwen has been hot, but there's lots of teams coming up in the ranks in Manitoba that he should be worried about. Matt Dunstone for one, and you never know. Any given day, the table could turn. So.
Well, for today we have David Bone, Daley Peters. First round action begins right away. See you back on Shaw after this break.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Go Winnipeg, go everywhere.
River and Osborne in the heart of Osborne Village.
And the Gaynor Family Regional Library.
From backyards to backstage, the stories that matter live on Shaw TV.
I'm here at the Mennonite Heritage Village. And we are here at Fort White Alive.
Here at the Main Street Farmers Market in Winnipeg's North End.
It is the Gimli Film Fest.
Go Winnipeg, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. 7 days a week, only on Channel 9.
Hey, if you missed it in theaters, Shaw On Demand has you covered. Order Dawn of the Planet of the Apes today.
And I want you to know, it's not just about power, it's about giving us the hope to rebuild and reclaim the world we lost.
The Max AAA Hockey Tournament is coming exclusively to Shaw. The best local and international AAA midget hockey teams battle it out for championship glory. For more than 3 decades, Max has proudly brought you the very best of AAA hockey in Canada. The Max AAA Midget Hockey Championship, New Year's Day, only on Shaw.
Hi, I'm Joe Poplawski. Ranger Insurance provides insurance coverage for Manitobans. We believe in building relationships and are proud supporters in the community. For more information, please visit rangerinsurance.ca.
Welcome back to the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg, and a special hello to our curling fans watching all across the province today via Shaw in Winnipeg and in northern Manitoba, and also in the Brandon and western Manitoba region via Westman. We are underway in this men's final of the Manitoba Curling Tour Championship. Last Rock has been awarded to Daley Peters' team. They will be throwing the yellow stones. That is the virtue of a draw to the button. Both teams did get to throw them up and back. And Daley's stone was closer to the pin, and so he does have Last Rock advantage here in this first end.
Well, Kathy, we're getting right at it. Both teams electing to put the guard up front, and Daley Peters' team electing to draw around, so we're right into the thick of things here.
That's a really good example of the kinds of things that we'll see today with the ice.
Like
it is very weight sensitive if you've got the right weight for the shot, but just a little bit heavy and it does slide through.
Well, hog to hog, the ice is very keen. It's 15 seconds, and a straight draw from hog to stop is 25 seconds, so it's very keen, which makes for very great drawing ice, and also it also moves on the takeout weight, so being on the broom is important.
We saw Greg Melnichuk throwing lead stones for Daley Peters. Greg is not a stranger to curling at all. Represented Manitoba with Randy Dutain back in 2005. And while you may see that this looks an awful lot like the skip, we have twin brothers David and Dennis Bone for many years have played together, lost a provincial final years ago. Dennis now playing second with Brian Galbraith playing third.
Just got a piece of that, Kathy, and like I said, the ice is moving even with takeout, so Dennis hits and rolls out with that rock.
And a shout out, we have official statisticians, Jacques and Ron Gauthier today are joining us as they have in the past. We'll do stats to give you a better perspective of how these teams are playing.
Line's good. A little deeper than the last one.
Taryn Gessel also not a stranger to high-level performance of curling. Lost a final as well to Jeff Stoughton several years ago while playing for Dean Dunstone. And Maureen, you referenced his son is also the big guy to watch, I think, coming up into men's. Matt Dunstone has earned himself a spot into the provincial championships, will not be here for that as he will be skipping a University of Manitoba team over in Spain. They won last year for the right to represent Canada at what is almost like a mini Olympics that the universities do. It's an amazing opportunity and a great program. Mike McEwen is a gold medalist at that years ago.
Yes, at my alma mater right now, at Brand University.
There you go.
Kathy and Maureen, you mentioned a while ago the similarity of appearance between David and Dennis. There was an urban legend that they often changed positions during a game depending on which one was playing well. I don't know if it was ever true, but it was a great story.
I certainly did hear that rumor.
Well, I know just even seeing around the club years past, you didn't want to say the wrong name, so you just said hi.
Hello, Bone.
Hello. I do remember that Safeway championship with the Bones playing in Brandon, Manitoba for that competition. It was excellent play and great game to watch, that final game. I think we're in for a great game here today.
And you can hear in the background the women's semifinal is underway. We will have the great pleasure of bringing that final to you immediately following this game.
Normal, easy.
Both men's and women's of the Manitoba Curling Tour Championship being played today at Assiniboine Memorial. And our first look at third, Brian Galbraith. Brian played for his older brother, Chris Galbraith, in 1995, winning Canada and going on to the World Curling Championships.
Well, Daley will ask for his third, Brendan Taylor, to draw down to that back stone in the back 12-foot. We'll see a good shot of how much this rock will curl across the house.
And Maureen, for those watching at home, so, you know, one of the options we're seeing is he's drawing. Why would you not play the hit, for example, on that stone?
Well, he's already lying one behind cover, and he wants to split up his stones here and possibly set up to lie two. And then he's just going to shift rocks between his opposition and hopefully come out with this end with a two-point lead.
Good.
And Brendan's performed that very well for first end. Freeze is always the hardest shot, eh, Kathy?
Well, it is.
Clean.
A little tighter, tighter, yep.
Yep.
Right,
really hard.
Hard.
Hurry.
That took off. Right through pretty good.
One more here, eh? Back tee's good.
This is Brendan Taylor's last rock, and he will draw to the open side to lie two again for Daley Peters.
I think you can go.
Back tee, let's go.
Hard, boys. Really got to go.
It's really important that they get this to the back of the house so they don't set up a double for David Bone.
Yep.
David's going to throw the out turn takeout here, Kathy. He's hoping to get a hit and roll over to the rock behind his own guard. They're not taking a lot of ice here, so, and it does curl, so we'll have to watch how this reacts.
Well, it's an interesting spot. We saw it take off earlier. We'll see if you get a little bit further outside, if it does want to run straight. This is David, not to be confused with Dennis.
Try to bet. No.
Okay.
Still able to play this, right? If you hit it, he's going to free roll the double or roll. Just that. It's just straight freeze.
So were you giving me?
That was right where I gave you, yeah. Should be close, right?
Is that enough?
What's that?
Because I was a little more over, wasn't I?
Well, no, he just nosed yours.
Okay.
So, Maureen, they talked about playing the hit, and Daley's concern was that if he played the hit, you would allow the double. Do you agree with the freeze?
I agree with the freeze. It's a tough shot, first end, but they get to practice before they come out here, so he has a handle on the draw weight. It's true, if he hits, that's a really important point Daley made here, is you're just setting it up for that hit and roll to make it a little bit better than he just had the first time with his first rock. So we'll see how Daley does here. Boy, what an uncanny, Daley's voice sounds exactly like his dad. If I didn't look down on the ice and see it was Daley, I would imagine
I would think it was
Vic.
And the Vic, of course, she's referring to is Vic Peters, 1992 Canadian curling champion and father of Daley.
Daley's not happy with that. He's actually given David Bone a way out of this end to double those yellow ones off.
Well, not a lot of events so far this year for the David Bone team. Have played in 2 events. They won the Rossmere Ken Kurbis Galaxy Spiel earlier, and he had the chance to talk to our Jessica Cable, and we'll hear what he had to say shortly. And for Daley, at the end of this end, we'll have a chance to hear his conversation with Resby Coots earlier. And I guess a little bit more play for sure for the Daley Peters team. They won the Autocorp in the Thistle. They were semifinalists at that same Ken Kurbit's Galaxy that was won by the Bone team, and they qualified in the DeKalb as well as the Sonova Spiel at East St. Paul. And there's a lovely shot to lie to.
Well, and respect from Daley to Dave Bone here. He knew he had set up a pretty easy double for David. Still have to execute, of course, but that's the level that these guys are at. They've played at this level. They know what they need to do and how they need to set the rocks up so that their opponents don't have those shots.
Yeah.
So final stone here in our first end of action at the finals of the Manitoba Curling Tour Championships at Assiniboine Memorial. Daley Peters facing 2.
They're going to have to go on this. They need full forefoot for the point.
Off. Off. Stop sweeping, please. Off.
Well, his concern is that they're going to tap that stone in. And that's a big turnaround. Well, this first end was supported by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, and as promised to you earlier before this game started, Resby Coots had an opportunity to speak to Daley Peters.
I'm with Skip Daley Peters. Daley, coming into this final game, you have already won a Safeway Championship berth based on a season-long rankings performance. That doesn't mean you're not trying to win this final game.
No, for sure not. Yeah, whenever you get to a final, you want to win it, and it's on TV too, so that's a little perk.
Your dad won the first one of these Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. I'm sure by now you're sick and tired of comparisons with your dad, but he was a pretty fine curler. Nice to win something that he won.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I'd like it to be the select preferably, but yeah, this would be a nice cherry on top for sure.
A year ago, you didn't play. What made you decide to play again this year?
Well, I kind of had been not really putting a hard effort in the last couple of years, and I figured, you know, if you're going to try hard, and thankfully I got some good guys in front of me to help me out.
Is this team good enough to win the Safeway Championship?
I think so. I hope so. It depends if the skipper's good enough, really.
Thanks a lot. Good luck to you today.
Thank you.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Welcome to the second end here in this Manitoba Curling Tour final. The second end is supported by Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips. I've been there enough. I even know the address. Great supporter of curling in Manitoba, no question about that.
For sure. Kathy, that's a big steal of 2 points by David Bone in that first end. David has elected to come in with the house with his first stone, and now he is hitting and rolling.
Well, it certainly seemed to be a turnaround, Maureen. It was the pressure was all on the opponents, on the Bone team in that first end until Daley's miscue, I guess, on the first produced a 2.
So now Daley will try and generate his 2 points, utilizing guards to the sides of the sheet. He's asking for a guard to the left side of the sheet.
And it is a really great testament, just looking at the stats provided by Jacques Gauthier, 59% for the Bone team in that first end, 78 for the Peters team, and yet it's 2 points on the board. So it is not only about how well you play, but I guess the timing of when you make those shots.
Exactly.
Firm. No. Anything? A little bit, Brian. It's like goal. Good shot. Big roll is good. Normal.
Lots of stake on the line for this Bone team. Coming into this event, 5 berths were available. Sean Grassi, Ramsey, Jared Kalamaya, and Daley Peters winning that based on ranking. Resby, do you want to speak to the pressure on the Bone boys in this game? Because it's not just, Daley Peters would like to win because he'd like to win, as he said to you. But for the Bone boys, it's a chance to get back to the Safeway Championship.
Well, it is. The ranking system has become a pretty sophisticated part of curling. The CTRS and the Order of Merit at the national level, and the Manitoba Tour ranking is at this Manitoba level become a pretty important part of the guys and the women making their plans. But Dennis and David Bone, because they elected not to play very much this year, really didn't have high aspirations. They won that one Bonspiel, which jumped them way up the rankings list, got them the invitation to this event. They weren't in a position where they could hope to accumulate enough rankings points even by getting to the final here. They had to win this event in order to win a Safeway berth, because one berth goes to the champion or to the highest finishing eligible team, and then the other 4 go on the rankings. So David Bone came in knowing he just had to win the Bonspiel, and is doing his best to do it.
Well, like you said, Resby, he didn't really have a lot of curling behind him this year.
No.
This is his 3rd spiel.
Well, as I understand it, these are 4 guys who curled together years ago and had a lot of success, and they're 4 good friends, and they weren't going to curl at all this year. And then they decided, let's go to a Bonspiel. They enter the Rossmere Bonspiel, and they won it. And now all of a sudden, they're back into being competitive players, because it never really leaves you, does it,
No.
Kathy? You ladies are proving that.
It doesn't. I know that you can tell when they're sitting in the hack. There's no question for them in their mind what they're all about, and it's one of those teams that you almost expect that if this were to go on for 2 more days, they would get better and better and better, because that competitive fire is there for sure.
Well, and I'm sure when they entered the MCT Championship, they were fairly loose and easygoing, and that's likely what got them to this final today.
The beauty of the system now, working very closely with Curl Manitoba, this event is this weekend. Regional playoffs are next weekend, and we've got to the stage where the winners of the berths tonight will all be removed from regional draws before regional draws are announced.
That's fantastic.
And so a lot of teams say, okay, we're going to go in it. Maybe we got a chance to win a berth. If we don't, we're going to have really good games the weekend before regionals, and that helps us win regionals. So
for sure, that's a great warm-up for those out there that don't realize that those regionals happen across the province, men's and women's, and they're in your local clubs across Manitoba. So please go down and support those teams that are playing in their playdowns.
Very good. Oh boy. Very nice.
It's a nice draw from Brendan Taylor.
So for Maureen, for somebody watching from home, they may be thinking, why is that very nice? It's at the back of the house and it's not shot.
No, but it's a setup shot. The corner guard's there. It brings the potential into a multiple count for Daley Peters' team. It's forcing David Bone to actually come down and try and tap it out and create some rocks in the back of the house, which is to Daley Peters' team's benefit.
This, I guess, eh? Control. Okay.
Asking him to hit and roll now behind that corner guard. Move that off of the forefoot, that rock.
That's a great view of what the ice does in this particular path. I thought he threw it pretty well, and it did not move. We were right behind that sheet, and it ran very straight.
You know, and as curlers, you have to be aware of patchiness, as we refer to it on the ice. But sometimes also the weather outside can play havoc with for the poor ice makers that are trying to make consistent ice. And sometimes that's out of their control just because of the age of the building, the age of the cement that the ice is put on, and there could be a little bit of heaving. But kudos to Matt Rankin, the ice maker here at the Assiniboine Memorial. He's done a wonderful job. This is really nice, keen ice, and a joy to see some movement in the ice as well.
And you got to think that it's got to be difficult for an ice maker. What are the odds that it would be raining and melting in December? It's
Exactly, especially when we had like, I think we had wind chills 2 weeks ago of
40 below.
Yeah.
To give Matt and his tremendous group of volunteers even more credit than you did, Maureen, there's actually a sand base under this club, and we're very near Sturgeon Creek, and the water table below this club is very high. Wow. 3 weeks ago when it was 40 below, Matt did have some tremendous heaving problems. In fact, on this sheet of ice, and when we were making the arrangement, I don't want to play on that sheet of ice. Well, I'm sorry, but the cameras are above that sheet of ice, so we're playing. So he has done just a tremendous amount of work over the last couple of weeks. And while this ice is not quite as perfect, shall we say, as what we may see at a Grand Slam event or at the provincial championship, because it's much more controllable conditions. This is remarkable curling club ice, and all of the competitors have been just tremendously complimentary.
No question, Paul Batchelor and his crew here do a great job. Always have their doors open and happy to have major curling events here. They will play host to the Junior Provincial Championships.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Daley just was a little tight coming out on that soft weight, and it took off.
An opportunity early in this game.
Maybe a tap back, Brian.
Maureen referred to him coming out just a little bit tight. Brusher's working on it, no question about that, and it's just that softer weight. Just grazes by the outside.
Didn't have to hit very much of that rock in the button to end up making an accidental double kill.
Mm-hmm. So David has the opportunity here to put another one in the house and put the pressure back on Daley Peters with his last rock to draw for one.
Line's good. Well, it's really hanging, guys. Hanging big time. Well, try to let him move, Larry. It's nothing out there.
So Maureen, ideally, where does he want this?
He wants this just biting the 8-foot, sort of half covering the back button rock, and give the alternative to Daley to either try and hit and roll in, or hit a double, or hit and stick.
So rate that shot.
Yeah.
The outcome.
The outcome, well, he's going to have to hit and stick to the back one, biting the back button. You know,
so
he just threw this, so...
Would you think that David was happy with the outcome of that last shot, or not so much?
No, I think he wanted over a little bit more, you know, make it really difficult for Daley to hit and stick for a shot.
So final stone here in the second end, trailing by 2 and facing 3.
Yep. Hard.
They're going to go hard on this one, Kathy. It's moving again.
He'll roll across the face, and so it'll be another steal for 2 and a 4-0 lead. Well, very much like Daley Peters, an opportunity before the game. Jessica Cable spoke with David Bone.
David, it's been quite a few years since your team, this team specifically, has played together. How's the season been going so far for you guys?
We can't complain. It's been off to a good start, considering we've only played 3 spiels this year. This is our 3rd spiel, so we're, you know, we're pretty happy to be where we're at here right now. You know, we just got to play this last game like it's another one, and we're playing against the top team, so we're going to have to make a lot of shots.
And to win, and if you do win this game, you will be playing in the Safeway Championships. You said you have to make the shots. What else are you guys going to have to do to win this game?
Yeah, just make lots of shots and stay focused. You know, that's a trick, to stay focused and not let you let one bad end slip away in an 8-end game, and that can be the game right there. So we just got to make sure and hope the game stays close and tight, and just make a few more shots, because you know, we're playing against top teams, so we got to take it from there.
Great, thank you so much, David, and we'll be back with more after this.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Welcome back to the 3rd end of action here at Assiniboine Memorial. This end is supported by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries.
Kathy, Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries came on board with the Manitoba Curling Tour this year as our presenting sponsor. It's been some years since we've had this kind of sponsorship. Vic Peters actually told me in the first year that he won the championship, KLM Airlines provided a trip to Switzerland for the winners of the Manitoba Curling Tour. So we don't know when we lost that, but
not when I was winning.
Lotteries came on with us this year, and they've helped the profile of the season-long series. The season-long series began in the fall at the Mother Club Classic, the new Bonspiel, and we've had a number of new Bonspiels, the Sonova Spiel at East St. Paul, men's and women's. The tour is healthy right now, and it's in good part because of the contributions of Manitoba Lotteries. One of the things they did, for example, they had a spectators draw at every event on the tour this year, so that spectators could put their name in a draw, and Lotteries is hosting 3 winners here this weekend with some VIP treatment watching the final games. So overall, it's just been a wonderful new relationship for the Manitoba Curling Tour, and it kind of energized us to do some things like talking with Shaw Cable or Shaw TV about doing this broadcast, just enhancing the image and the profile of the Manitoba level players.
Well, Resby, I know that on behalf of the curlers in the province, and I consider myself one as does Maureen, thank you for all the efforts that you put in. It is great for the players to have an opportunity to compete and, you know, through your efforts, have a chance to play for a berth. Maureen and I talked about that at the beginning of the game, how important that is to be able to do that. And the timing of this is great. And I know that there's a ton of work that goes on behind the scenes. And as you say, this broadcast, it's great for people at home to be able to watch some of our great Manitoba curlers.
Well, thank you for the compliment, Kathy.
There are no more.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I serve as the coordinator for a series of Bonspiels, and the volunteers who run the Bonspiels across the province really are the Manitoba Curling Tour. And as far as my efforts, frankly, I enjoy the puzzle. I enjoy trying to make it work and putting the draw together and coordinating and figuring out the rankings and all the rest of it, and just hope that when we get to the end, we haven't made too many mistakes.
Well done by you. And talking about a puzzle, Maureen, it is a big puzzle for Daley Peters trying to chart this ice so far.
Yes, for sure. He's struggling a little bit himself. Personally, I think he would admit that his last 2 throws maybe weren't as good as he intended them to be. But you know what? There's a little bit of game left here. He's going to have to go all out and set up some guards, get some rocks in play, because David Bowen is not going to let him just walk in and have his 2. So he's going to have to put it up a notch here, Kathy.
Do you think, knowing as he would have, that for Daley Peters, knowing that the Bone team has not played that much this year, gives him more oomph, if you will, to feel like the comeback is still within his reach?
Yeah, I think so. We're, on the 3rd end, and they haven't played all the across the sheet completely yet, so there is some, opportunities to maybe try out some spots in the ice and see how the Bone team reacts to working in those areas. So he's just got to be a little bit patient here and play out this end and see if he can get back on track.
Corner guard is up and asking Taryn Gessel to go behind that stone.
Good. We're gonna wait. That's real good. Hard. Okay, you're by. Ball there. Hard. Ball there. Hard. Back 4, back 8.
There's that really big finish as it starts to curl that way. Just grazes the outside, but you can see that it may have had too much weight if it got by anyway, Maureen.
Yeah, for sure. They needed that rub. It's just, I think, anticipation of that curl at the last 6 feet. And you really have to actually be on it way before the last 6 feet. You have to be anticipating it halfway down the ice and then go. So the weight is critical. If you're heavy, there's not much they can do about it.
Brian Galbraith will hit and roll out. And once again, Daley Peters is asking to go around that corner guard. This time, Brendan Taylor will take a run at it.
Line's good. Easy then, Greg. Right on. Line's good. It's all there right now. Line's real good. Oh, line's real good. Line's good. Line's perfect.
Well, through the middle on this Peters team, both Taryn Gessel and Brendan Taylor putting up some great numbers so far. It's been the finish so far of the Peters team that's just not played out.
So Brian Galbraith will try and draw around, follow Brendan Taylor's rock down to the back.
Line's good.
Still got room. Lots of room.
Looks warm.
Again, not shot rock back there by Brendan Taylor, but it's starting to build something in the back to create kind of a wall, Kathy, so they can draw to something, keep something in play.
Here again, eh?
Sliding a little bit far is Brian.
So Daley's asking Brendan to draw again behind there to come down to his own in the back of the 12-foot.
Freeze it. It does. You're gonna have some pretty big stones, but
This is always the dilemma with teams, Kathy. Do we put all our eggs in one basket, go to the side around that corner guard and put two behind there, or do we bump back some of the ones that are actually shot rock right now? You've got 3 rocks left, so you have to make that decision.
get it low. Could do that, or I don't mind this either. Pretty hard. How does he get one out?
I like that freeze on that corner red.
I agree with Brendan. I like the corner freeze.
I like freeze on that other one, Daley. I don't know.
Okay, if he ever throws a guard. Sure.
I don't mind going around the corner too, though.
I don't mind that either.
It's true, and then, yeah, there's no double for us because it's going right
As a
into our yellow, right?
wise skipper always told me, Kathy, I think it was
What's he
Gary
gonna do?
Burtnick, he said there's no wrong shot, it's the
Pretty
missed
tough.
shot
We go
that is
around.
the wrong shot.
It's going to be tough to make a double,
So
right?
we've got 2 shots to choose
It's
from
not
here.
an easy double.
Brendan will make his way down.
You gotta
We'll
get
listen.
like high on it. It's not an easy double at all. You gotta get real high on it, eh?
I like this then.
You don't like this at all?
I don't mind it.
I mean, you put it there, what does he do?
Can you squeeze it out that way?
No. Not if you're real good.
I don't mind it then.
And if you tap it low, it's not horrible.
So, Maureen, they've talked about 3 different shots. They talked about going around the corner. Brenda's initial thought was to play the freeze on the stone that is in the 8-foot, but Daley very much likes the freeze on the center one. Your view?
Well, I mean, all 3 are options. I preferred the corner one because you can set up an angle that if the bone team tries to play it, it could jam onto the center rock. Freezing to the one in the middle of the sheet on the button is not a bad call either. It's all about lineup, really. That's what's going to dictate what happens after you do the freeze. So it's all line right here.
And you could hear in Daley's voice some very positive energy with those stones around. He knows that there's going to be opportunities created. And that's a very nice shot.
Well, you try that thin or just try hard.
He's hoping to be a little bit more straight on.
Hang around.
Well, the other option here, too, is they're trying to get the bone team to move the red rocks out of there for them, utilizing their stones.
Well, I think hitting it, you hit it too firm, it's going to sit back here.
Hit it too solid. Oh, yeah, I will.
Too flat. I think you play it thin.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the curl. Well, wait. Firm, firm.
So, Maureen, where do you want to hit this?
I think he wants to hit it nose or better, to hit and roll across towards that side guard, and then block off the draw for Daley to come around that corner guard.
It's more, Brian.
If he hits it too thick or too thin, he could risk jamming it. and leaving the Yellowstone there. So he's going to try and nose it, or better. This is big weight, Kathy.
Oh, what a great shot.
Nicely done.
Not only does he remove the shot stone, he goes across and clips the stone that was buried behind the corner guard. Maureen, you talked about nose or better. He certainly got the nose or better. You talked about the big weight he was able to throw. You see one goes, makes the other one go away, and leaves the shooter on the open side. Lovely throw.
That was kind of what I gave you. Give me an inch less or no?
And that's just a testament to David Bone. You know, he's only had 3 spiels this year, you know, hasn't curled for a while, jumps back in the mix of things, and
pure
it's just
talent.
Like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And so for Daley and his team, we'll regroup, try to go back and utilize that corner guard once again.
Line's good.
Line's real good. Line's real
Where
good.
is it? Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, hard line.
Hard.
You're sweeping hard. This is that anticipation of that curl.
Quit it.
Hard.
Hard. Hard to get it back.
Hard.
Go, go, go.
Hard.
Now, one of those days for Daley, just grazes the back half of that stone and goes into the open, so it will be a wide open hit to lie 2 again for David.
I think his weight was great, Kathy. He would have been back 8 maybe, fully buried if they'd got that by. Daley always has a smile on his face. He's a pretty easygoing guy.
Do you think the fact that they're playing for obviously the pride, the bragging rights, and the bigger check, but not the berth, makes a difference?
I think so. You know, they're a little looser maybe, but you know, I think you can see the Bone team is definitely all about business out there. They're now realizing what they have on the line here, and they could be going to the Safeway Select. So kudos to David's team for just keeping it very, very, very serious and on target and playing well.
First, might get around and out. Might. Not really easy.
So final stone here in the third end, and for the 3rd consecutive time, Daley Peters will face multiple stones. 2 or 3 have faced him in each of the preceding ends, hoping for a better result.
Yep.
Now trying to get the blank on top of it. And that stone will stay out, so it will be a blank. You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club, supported by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. We'll be right back with the 4th end action after this.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Hi, I'm Kevin Nealis. Season's greetings from all of the staff at Ranger Insurance. We would like to wish everyone in our community a safe and happy holiday season and all the best for the upcoming new year.
At Shaw TV, we are proud to bring you live events, and we value your comments. Call the Shaw TV viewer response line now, 204-480-3500, or email us, shawtvwinnipeg@shaw.ca, and let us know how we're doing. Or find us on Facebook and Twitter at Shaw TV Winnipeg.
Hey boys and girls, have you been good this year? If so, Santa Claus wants to talk to you. We're going to be calling kids from the Ho Ho Hotline. Get your parents to sign you up at shawtvwinnipeg.com/ho-ho-ho. It's the Ho Ho Hotline.
The following is a community-produced program brought to you by the Manitoba Curling Tour.
Welcome back to 4th end action. I'm Kathy Gauthier alongside Maureen Bonner, bringing you the Manitoba Curling Tour Finals. First the men's, to be followed by the women later this afternoon. This 4th end is supported by Curl Manitoba's Curling for Life Endowment Fund.
So Daley has retained last rock advantage.
That's a pretty darn good blank.
Yeah, it was a great blank. So he's going to have to utilize the free guard zone, get some guards up, and get some rocks in play.
And the one thing about the 8-end game, I think we go back and forth. So many people have strong opinions about whether 10 is better or 8 is better. Your view?
Well, now that I'm a senior, I really like the 8-end games, Kathy. You know, the thing is I found during the 10-end games, you kind of waste those first ends anyway. And so I think this gets us back into just get at it and play an aggressive game, and it affords the free guard zone. And so I'm more leaning towards the 8-end game now.
Yep. I think there are a lot of people that would agree with you. It's remarkable how that 2 extra ends can feel like the game is so much longer. I'm sure right now Daley Peters wouldn't mind knowing that he had another 2 ends in front of him.
For sure. Yeah, you never want to give up 2 steals right off the bat, especially with an 8-end game. 10-end game, you have a few more ends to make it up. But yeah, it makes it exciting right from the get-go. I think that's entertaining. The only sad part is that if you do get up, it's really difficult to come back. You have to really make all your shots really, really good.
Might be getting the back one.
And as we look at Dennis Bone, his number is relatively low for the first, but has been climbing since. And frustration a little bit for Daley. The missed shot winds up picking the stone in the back, but that is part of the sport. You don't have to call it. It's not pool.
No.
The results are what the results are.
That's right. And David Bone called the out turn on that, so if he did get a little full, there was the option of taking the back one out. And a lot of people don't realize that when you're not skipping a lot, that's really important to look at that option. Especially, you know, if you're playing in club, your skip needs to think of that too, because sometimes we're not all that good on the broom at the club level. So giving you the option to play either or, calling the right turn on that.
Find a good angle they can. Yeah, hard I got it. Tough one.
Well, David has the opportunity now to throw a double and remove both of these guards out of play.
There's his cumulative average, 75% after 3. Struggled a little bit with the first end, and that has brought his overall numbers down, but he's certainly climbing.
And all Daley can do is stand and watch the yellow ones leave the ice surface.
Good shot, Dennis.
Taryn Gessel asked to put up a corner guard again.
That looks good. Clean it up. That boy, keep.
Yeah. Hard. Hard, Larry.
And Brian Galbraith successfully completes peeling that corner guard.
One more.
And Daley will ask Brendan Taylor to put up one more guard.
One more, eh?
So for Daley Peters, I guess, Maureen, you just have to keep throwing the guards and hope that there's a break your way.
Yeah, for sure. He'll put one more guard up and then hopefully if that works out, he'll come around it, but if not, he'll likely look at coming into the house and either freezing on top of the existing bone stone.
So that big backlift from Brian Galbraith, it's a little bit of a fading art, if you will. Some will not call it an art.
Yeah. We see a lot of the tour players with really big weight throw the lift. And then with just a regular throw, takeout weight, they'll just stay, leave it on the ground, throw, or on the ice, and just no lift. So it's interesting that they've brought it back in some instances and kind of play around with their deliveries a little bit more, kind of like the golf game with your, you know, fades and slices.
And we certainly have taken a look at a number of studies that I've seen, and there is no reason why the lift is a bad thing if it's what you're used to doing. You can certainly generate a lot of extra weight if you're used to doing it, but if you take a look at the new crop of juniors that are coming out, they've learned, you know, better foot position in the hack, stronger muscle tone, and are able to get a lot of leg drive without a lift as well.
For sure. And, you know, interesting, I'm working with a high-performance team out of the Brandon Curling Club. They've got the same program in Winnipeg and in Dauphin. And, you know, back when I was learning to curl, it was, you know, you had to throw the flat foot delivery. It had to be Curl Canada. It had to be this way, this way. This had to be a certain way. Now it's anything goes, but basically critiquing and pinpointing some of the issues within their deliveries to tweak it to make it work for them. And I like that idea. You know, it's again, like the golf shot. Nobody's going to have the perfect, you know, Phil Mickelson swing.
Look at Jim Furyk. It's not pretty, but it's highly effective.
It's not pretty. Don't watch the swing. And so that's basically what the new crop of juniors coming up. They tuck, they throw flat foot. It's a mixture, and it's, you know, what preferences work for them.
Well, they get the roll out. They're called by the Bone Boys, I guess, wanting to make sure that there's nothing to freeze to at the back of the house.
Yeah, at this point, any rock in play is to Daley Peters' benefit, so he can utilize it. As he's doing with this rock, Kathy, he's going to try and draw around this 12-foot rock, the bone rock in the 12-foot.
We've talked about Daley's struggles, and you can see those numbers represented there. And go back to the first end, had the opportunity, was not able to do it. In the second end, both stones over curled, had really nice soft weight. Fortunately, gave up another steal of 2, and that is currently the score. It is a 4-0 lead for David Bone as we play final stones here in 4.
Very nice throw from Daley. He's given a cheer. He made it a good draw. Didn't crash on any front stone.
Waving to the crowd. He's having a good time, and that's good. Staying loose is a big part of this game. It doesn't make you any better if you're all uptight. And frustrated for sure, because he is a very good player and obviously played very well this week to get to this Manitoba Curling Tour final.
For sure.
Yeah, just the way his took off. Okay.
So what kind of weight do you think he's playing here, Maureen?
I think he's just going to, yeah, he just said it, back 8, back 12-foot weight, just to tap it out. And, you know, he doesn't even care if he plays it really tight to that front one as long as he contacts the yellow rock. Well, this is the first pressure shot that's been put on David in his throwing the stones. So we'll see how he does with this in turn, because it took off for Daley and 2 ends ago.
Clean.
It's a little more than back 8 foot 12-foot weight.
Yes. But very effective nonetheless. And so would you assume that this is going to be the blank attempt and Daley will look for his points in the second half?
For sure. He's going to regroup, roll out, regroup, and return.
3 Rs.
3 Rs.
And And so final stone here in the fourth end of this Manitoba Curling Tour Championship final for the men's. Makes no mistake about that. Daley does blank. And so it will be a 4-0 lead that David Bone and his team will take into the second half of this game. Your assessment, Maureen, if this has gone as you thought it might?
No, it hasn't. You know, I think Daley would agree that he's struggled in the first couple ends with maybe throwing a little bit softer weight than he anticipated, or a little bit more curl in the ice than he anticipated. The second end was a big turning point to go up 4-0, missing those two open rocks by the Bone team and leaving a steal of 2. So we'll see, you know, Resby's going to talk to Daley and find out what his comments are on this and what the ice is doing, or has it changed, and see what happens.
Well, as we're waiting for Resby to get set up with Daley, we'll just be back in a couple of minutes. Stand by and we'll hear from Daley Peters when we return.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Go Winnipeg, go everywhere.
River and Osborne in the heart of Osborne Village.
And the Gaynor Family Regional Library.
From backyards to backstage, the stories that matter live on Shaw TV.
I'm here at the Mennonite Heritage Village.
And we are here at Fort White Alive.
Here at the Main Street Farmers Market in Winnipeg's North End.
It is the Gimli Film Fest.
Go Winnipeg, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., 7 days a week, only on Channel 9.
Hey, if you missed it in theaters, Shaw On Demand has you covered. Order Dawn of the Planet of the Apes today.
And I want you to know, it's not just about power, it's about giving us the hope to rebuild and reclaim the world we lost.
The Max AAA Hockey Tournament is coming exclusively to Shaw. The best local and international AAA midget hockey teams battle it out for championship glory. For more than 3 decades, Max has proudly brought you the very best of AAA hockey in Canada. The Max AAA Midget Hockey Championship, New Year's Day, only on Shaw.
Hi, I'm Joe Poplawski. Ranger Insurance provides insurance coverage for Manitobans. We believe in building relationships and are proud supporters in the community. For more information, please visit rangerinsurance.ca.
Daley, rough start, but it seemed like you needed to throw that big weight, hit the double kill blank to kind of break loose and start over.
Well, it seems like I couldn't make a draw, so it was a good thing I got to throw one hard to make one finally.
How do you feel like you maybe gained a little bit of momentum back? Can you recapture this thing?
Well, I think we can. I don't feel like we gained any momentum, but I think we still got a shot, sure.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
We'll be back with Jessica in a moment.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
David, how's it going so far out there for you guys?
Well, obviously on the scoreboard we like the situation now, but you know, the game's only half over and we sure can't, you know, we can't take anything for granted yet. You know, these guys, we've got some breaks from them we normally never would see. So, you know, we just still got to keep the foot down, and there's still half a game to play yet.
And 4-0 after the first 2 ends of play. How do you hold on to that momentum? How do you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, you know, that's tough because getting an early lead like that, you know, everybody wants an early lead, but they're sometimes tough to keep. But you know, we've been holding on to it so far, so we just got to keep on doing what we're doing, and hopefully that stays the same.
Great. Thank you so much, David. We'll be back from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club with more after this.
Kim Warburton is the new president of the Manitoba Curling Association. And Kim, we're talking about the Curling Endowment Fund for Life today. What is it all about?
We initiated the Curling for Life Endowment Fund a couple of years ago because we know that sponsors aren't always as strong as they've always been, and we need to make sure that we've got funds for future for curling. So you can go onto a website, curlingforlife.com. We've partnered with the Winnipeg Foundation, and they're managing the funds, which is fantastic because they've got a great track record. And what we use the interest for is for grassroots curling, developing the sport, providing new programs, and maybe even being able to market the sport because we've never been able to have funds to tell people to come and curl.
Now, for somebody at home listening on the couch, they might think, well, isn't that the job of the Manitoba Curling office as it is? So what's the difference between what they do as an association and what this fund will do?
Well, this fund will provide that much more for the future of the sport. Obviously, the donations that we take today, we're only able to use the interest on the endowment, but we'll be able to sustain some curling programs for down the road as opposing to just keeping a balanced budget day in and day out.
So are you just looking for people to call or give money, or are there things people can purchase, or how do people get involved?
There's a couple of ways, Kathy. You can go to curlingforlife.com and make a general donation. You can even use this as a legacy gift for people that want to give something in their estate or a donation like that. Or we actually can purchase, and you can show the pride of curling in your province. And we've partnered with MPI, and we have a specialty license plate. And the $70 for any specialty plate, we get $30 back that goes straight into the endowment fund. So it's a great way to show your support and your pride for the sport in our province, as well as give back to the sport.
Well, before we go to our fifth end action, our break, Kim, if you can show us that license plate. Christmas is coming, and for any curler on your list or wannabe curler, what a great gift. We'll be back with more action here on Shaw TV in a few moments.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Well, back to the fifth end. It is the second half now that begins of the finals. This end is supported by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. And Maureen, we heard Daley say that he needs to change things. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of momentum going so far. What do you think about that?
Well, there isn't. He hasn't had a lot of rocks in play. You know, Bone team is doing very well at keeping it clean. So, you know, he's a realist. He knows what he's up against in this latter half of the game. He's got to do what he's got to do, get some rocks in play and see what happens.
Now, David Bone did say, you know, they just have to keep doing the same things that they're doing. Do you think Daley Peters will let them?
Well, I think Daley's got to be really aggressive. He's got to look at ways he can change it up and maybe, you know, look for a possible mistake from the Bone team. I think David Bone is going to just play it as clean as he can right now and try and run the rocks up and down. He's not going to get into anything. He's been around the block once or twice, so he's happy to keep it clean. So we'll see what happens in the next four ends.
Well, Jacques Gauthier gave us the stats after 5, and the biggest differential between players, Maureen, is at the skip. David Bone is at 91%. Daley Peters is at 56%. Does that tell the story of a 4-0 game?
For sure. That last rock is so important, and you know, if the front end can set it up for you and the last rock doesn't deliver, then you know what, you're going to give up some points.
You didn't say Lois, but are you thinking Lois?
No. I would not dare to say that. She knows herself. She's her worst critic. I don't have to say anything to her. And that's the truth with a lot of the skips that have played at this level and above. They know what they need to do. You trying to get me in trouble?
I am. I am. I'm certainly not going to be as tall as you in this lifetime, so I must get you in trouble somewhere else.
Yes, that's right.
Well, the Bone boys lie 2. And would there have been an advantage to having just even thrown that stone through? Do you want to minimize stones, or is it too early yet for David Bone to start to run?
Well, it's a little bit early, although you know what, they do have the momentum, so either one would have been fine. But I think he still wants to play. He still wants to see, you know, if they can maybe put the nail in the coffin kind of thing. So, you know, you're going to play that fifth end. It's an odd end too, so you got to look at it. That I know I learned something the other day. Kevin Martin makes it blatantly clear that you have to look at which ends you have the hammer on, how many ends you have left to potentially have the hammer on, and go from there. And the scoreboard dictates, right?
One's good. Or do you want to just play the front?
You can see about half of that stone, almost 3/4, I guess, from the hack.
Just easy. Yep. Gotta go.
They'll play this tight. I think they want the back one, but if they take the front, it's either or.
Won't be super unhappy with that. He was given the option. The preferred shot was the one in the house, but that's better than going by on the inside for sure.
Yeah, and Daley will put up a guard to cover his back 4-foot rock. He can make the guard a little bit better so that it's not peeking out. We can't try and pull it out of there.
You talked about scoring, Maureen, and how important it is, and so many people view, you know, that scoring in the even ends is really key. But at this point in the game, is there merit, with all these rocks in play so far, for Daley just scoring, trying to change things around?
Yeah, he has to get on the board at this point. You know, he needs to score a deuce, and then look at trying to steal his way back into the game. So I think it's a critical point right now, 5th and 6th end. He has to get on the board. And some teams look at that, you know, when they're down 4-0, looking at even in the earlier ends, getting on the board earlier so that you can get kind of the momentum change and switch from trying to defend basically with your hammer and trying to maybe set up a steal. So it's all kind of how your team likes to play the game out when you're down. And those are discussions you need to have off the ice before you get into this situation so that you know what you want to do and you can discuss it between the breaks and between ends.
I'll give you a couple inches left.
Between the ends quickly, Kathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Taryn again being asked to throw the guard. Some pretty decent numbers for Taryn.
Mine's good. Probably halfway tight to go. Okay, just let it work then. Just let it work. Hard. Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Go, 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 go. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Good spot, my boy.
And David would just remove the guard, playing it very simple.
Yep, clean, clean, clean. Yep. Go, go. Good throw, Brian.
Assiniboine Memorial, 1,200 members strong, used to be known as the home of the champions from the days of Mert Thompson, Kerry Burtnick, and others. Now is known as the home of the championships. They have hosted this. They will host the provincial juniors between Christmas and New Year's. And they've also spent a lot of money to put in a lift. If you come out here on any Saturday to practice, you will see wheelchair curlers very much in force here as they practice and they train. And now they're able to use the entire facility, which is really great.
And even if you're not a member, you can come down and pay to use a sheet.
Absolutely.
Come and throw, try it out.
See if you like it. Yep. And so that guard curled a little bit too much from the hack. You can see a piece of that. It certainly is tempting to go after.
Or you just peel again. Yeah, I can only see about quarter.
Brian sharing from the hack. You can only see a little bit of a quarter, and rather than risk just ticking it over, they've made the team decision to peel the guard. 72% overall for Brian as we play here in 5. At the third position, Brendan Taylor does have the edge by about 12%. We would call that a plus in curling. If you outscore your opponent by 5% or better, you get a plus.
They're getting, I mean, yeah, they're bashing everything, right?
I don't mind hooking the top.
Not horrible. Yeah, they're ramming whatever we do. Okay, whatever, guard done.
So they looked at a couple of options. One of them was to come around on top of that yellow one, but if you don't finish curling, you can create a double. They looked at playing at the back of the house. An absolute consensus by Team Peters that it doesn't really matter where they're going to put it. It's going to be peeled or hit by the Bone team, and so that's why they've elected to throw a guard.
Yep, a little bit. Whoa, good, good, good. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good-ish.
I like this turn because if we absolutely pay for it, we might get the run back. Oh, I see. If we flat. I'm okay with the other turn, Brian.
Maureen, they looked at playing the in-turn for a while. Now going to the out-turn. What would be the advantages of peeling with the in-turn?
Well, I think in turn, he's looking at his shot rolls away and he clears it across. But you know what? If you get it too full on the in turn, you could jam it back. So that wouldn't be a good thing. So it's easier to clear this on the out turn. Possibility, if you do hit it too thick, you jam on the red on yellow. So this is a better call. And it could be because it's a straighter throw versus maybe the in turn is unpredictable. They're not sure. They haven't thrown a lot down there.
Mission accomplished. We'll peel that stone out.
Or it could have just been a preference. He likes out turns better than
Yeah,
in turns.
you can move this about, I don't know, 3 inches. Okay, this 7 rock's gone nuts, right? So, I don't know, like, you can, well, either that or you go low. Like a freeze? He's just gonna whack off it, right?
If you're not there though and you're just here, it's no good. Yeah.
I think the best chance of 3 is right here.
I like that.
And hope he takes a guard.
I like that, Daley.
Right? I don't, yeah. Well, he's not gonna miss, he's not gonna miss a blast off or the double.
No.
You can't miss both of them. It's possible.
I like this.
Right? Either that or you try to go.
I was thinking that this is flat enough that he might end up pushing it to here.
Yeah, but he kills this then. Right? It's almost impossible to get him to miss both. You need him to touch the one.
I like your original call.
Yeah, I do too.
Good throw.
So, but this, we can get under. That's the only other shot.
My guards were curling.
Not bad.
Today.
I still think we can get good here, though, turn. We still need to keep 2 alive. I mean, we ever bonk it, it just makes a double right of the game. 2 puts us back in the game, right?
Yep, that's all we need. Is that enough, guys?
I don't.
Where were you
Well,
getting my
everything
guards?
else is straightened up here.
My
so.
guards were curling really good.
Yeah, that was your guard ice, basically.
So, Maureen, an
And it does no
interesting
good
call by Daley initially when he said that 7 rock has been really moving hard. And, you know, we've been surprised. Daley has not missed anything on the outside. When he's missed, it's gone across the face. So is that comment reflective of that maybe he feels that his stone is definitely a cutter?
I think so. I think he thinks it's just finishing a little bit harder. And, you know, you start to question that, you know, time again when he's gone across the face and throwing it pretty good. And other rocks have gone down the same path and haven't reacted the same. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing to comment on and that to be aware of it. It's not a bad thing that it curls, but you just need to be aware of it. Utilize it to your best advantage. And I think he's trying to do that here by drawing down to his back one around that top 12-foot rock. Well, that's unfortunate because he had perfect weight on that, Kathy. Again, rubbing on the front.
His weight was pretty close. Is there a double without jamming?
Well, he could get rid of all three, likely.
They got to skinny this one to get that 7.
You'd have to get the top one quite thin to get it to move out across the face of the black or the back red rock. But it's dicey. I mean, if he doesn't hit it right, he could jam.
It's not a bad call, actually.
So just go for the hole?
Well, but you cannot hit that.
Well, then we kill that one. And if I hit ultra thin, it might go.
You like playing with the intern?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
what
like
he's talking
throwing
about,
the intern
ultra
at
thin and going across the face of the red one.
You want to come across the face?
Yeah. Same, I've thrown this in here a few times.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
Great comment, Kathy. David is
kind of weight
very
you wanna
confident
throw
in this
here?
spot.
Feel.
He's thrown it
Okay.
quite a few times, so he knows how the rock's going to react.
I don't think that gets to that back on the PLA. Hair last, Brian. Whoop.
Whoa!
House! Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa!
Right off!
Whoa!
Oh, what a great shot.
Exactly how he thought it would go if he could get it thin enough around across the top. Awesome shot.
Oh, nice shot. How frustrating for Daley Peters. It's just not worked out. And anytime there's been 2 stones in the house, David has not made any mistakes whatsoever. Even though they've only played in 2 spiels, you'd never guess that by watching.
No, you wouldn't. David is really on his game today.
And we talked about him being 91% going into this end. Those shots are not going to hurt. That average has come to play. And so for Daley, now the force.
A lot on the pin, I guess.
And it's a very
Making
small
everything.
spot to draw to. He is making everything for sure,
We
Daley.
can. I mean, I was trying to make this. I thought this was a little easier.
Well, he's going for
I
the
just threw this. Why would
draw
we
to the
do it?
button here.
Just put on the pin.
As you heard, put it on the pin.
Same weighting.
I really like Daley's his demeanor out there on the ice. It's just so refreshing.
Yep. Yeah. Hard, guys. Hard for line.
Hard, boys.
Well, he needs to get to that white button. And he will not. It will be another steal for David Bone, and it will be a 5-0 advantage when we come back in the 6th end. You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club, supported by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Wednesday, January 7th, where the Medicine Hat Tigers roar into the BC capital, looking to dethrone the Victoria Royals. Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
Hi, my name's Tamika, and I host Switch on Shaw TV. Switch is a platform for community members to share different philosophies, cultures, and activities that happen in Winnipeg, and I think that's super cool.
Now I'm gonna plant the vegetables that I've started from seeds.
Switching up television.
I think it just means someone who loves the pop culture.
Run by volunteers.
Who I am online is who I am offline.
Community created on Shaw TV.
Winnipeg is looking for the best holiday light display in the city. Nominate your favorite house online by tweeting us a photo using the hashtag #WinnipegLights. Post on our Facebook page or email us at shawtvwinnipeg@sjrb.ca. The winner will receive a Shaw Movie Night prize pack, and most importantly, bragging rights for an entire year.
Go Winnipeg, go everywhere.
River and Osborne in the heart of Osborne Village.
And the Gaynor Family Regional Library.
From backyards to backstage, the stories that matter live on Shaw TV.
I'm here at the Mennonite Heritage Village. And we are here at Fort White Alive.
Here at the Main Street Farmers Market in Winnipeg's North End.
It is the Gimli Film Fest.
Go Winnipeg, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. 7 days a week, only on Channel 9.
Welcome back to Sixth End action at the Manitoba Curling Tour Finals. It is the men final that we are bringing you now, to be followed very quickly by the women's final later on. It is a 5-0 lead by David Bone, and the Sixth End is supported by Remax Professionals, Gord and Christy Green.
Well, Kathy, David is started this end out throwing the rocks through the house. He's not wanting to have any rocks in play here, and it's going to make it difficult for Daley to generate some points. So we'll see this end out, but 5-0 is a big hole to come back from.
Well, it is, and the numbers really speak to it. If you were to show a grid of what the two teams have done, you would see an ascending scale for Team Bone. Started at about 70%, moved themselves up to 81% as a team, so playing very solid curling. And conversely, you're looking at 59, 60, moving up towards the 70s. It's a very it's a tough battle, and when you're playing in an event like this with 8 ends and you're trailing by 5, and for Daley, he's actually put some stones in not bad spots, but credit for sure to David Bone for making everything.
Oh, for sure. Like you said, he's only had 3 spills this year, but it looks like he's been playing all season.
Clean. And some days it's like that. It
Exactly.
just doesn't work.
Sometimes that broom looks really, really big and easy to hit, and other days it just looks so tiny and small.
Well, for Daley and his team, they know that they will be playing in the Provincial Men's Championship. And, you know, it's always nice to win. They're great competitors, and they wanted to come out and play really well. And I think that for Daley, it'll be interesting, you know, in the women's game to watch these yellow stones and to see if we see a similar struggle, because his stones have over-curled time and time again. Maureen, would you ever consider saying maybe he shouldn't throw those?
Well, you know what? If it's getting in your head as a skip and you're losing your confidence, get rid of them. You've got to build your confidence back up as the skip. You've got to be, you know, confident that your rocks are doing what you anticipate they're going to do. And if you can't get your head wrapped around it, you've got to get rid of them.
Yep. And who would you give them to typically?
Well, usually give them to the second, because they're likely going to be throwing more hits than anything. You want to have a good matching pair of rocks for your lead. But again, it goes to look at who's throwing the rock as well in your lead and second. So if your lead throws a really inside-out straight rock, then maybe, you know, a curly rock would benefit them. But the majority of the time, you give those rocks to your second.
Got room.
That'll work. Tons of line. Tons of line.
A lot of room, too.
Well, on third stones, they're trying to utilize that one corner guard. Maureen, would you consider throwing another corner, or is it time to go in?
Well, I think they have to get something deep back in the house and buried, and try and get some rocks coming to it, build some rocks in play, because Dave's going up there and he's going to build the guard anyway, so at least try and get some rocks in play somehow. It would have been an option to put up a corner guard, but I think Daley just wants to get something in play at this point and feel like he's got some control.
Yep. Yep. Oh, yep. Good job.
Brian will peel that stone away. Keeping in mind that it will be the women's final to follow this game. We know that it will be Michelle Montford taking on Barb Spencer, two of the strongest teams in this province, so that should make for a great game, Maureen.
Very good game coming up. Both teams have had great success on the Manitoba Curling Tour. They were, I believe, in the top 4 seeding in this championship, so we'll look forward to that game. So Daley has an opportunity now to set up to lie 2. This is the first time in 5 ends, so I think he'll be joyous of that.
So is David playing for the double here?
Oh yeah, all day. he's made those all day. Why stop now?
Yeah. You guys can back it up here if we're...
David referring to his sweepers, once they sweep it, can hold it and keep it where they need it to be, hitting half a rock.
Whoa, 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 right off.
Close.
Right off.
Yep. Oh,
right off.
Oh, right off.
We need a piece first. Jeez, great job.
Ran very straight, had to curl a little bit more. We heard the yes, and then we heard David say it has to hit a piece first.
Well, this is the first break I think that Daley Peters feels that he's had in this game, match up against David Bone today.
And so Daley will again attempt to split the house.
Brushers haven't put a brim to this yet. Now it's coming in.
Good, good right there.
Well, $1,600 going to the winner of this. The runner-up will get $1,200. But in the case of David Bone, as he makes his way to the hack, one of the things that come along with this event, if he does happen to win this, is the chance to go back to the provincial championships in a year that he didn't even know if he was going to play. So that's a pretty nice perk if he's able to do that. For Daley, already has that in his back pocket.
Well, the other thing if he goes on to win this, he has the opportunity to use that as part of the seeding of the provincial championships. So winning this is a big deal, not only bragging rights, but helps with seeding of their team, because they won't have a lot of stats on them.
Just misses that out the backside, and so for Daley, a chance for 2 and to pull within 3.
Shot.
This is an interesting call that he's going to throw the same shot to the wings, where I guess he knows what the ice and the weight is there, so he will draw the same shot. Most skips will just draw to the 4-foot. But again, sometimes it's patchy and you don't want to take that chance. So here he is drawing to the wings again, and looks like he's successful.
So final stone here in 6. Needs to find a piece of the paint for 2 and to draw within 3, which he does. We'll be right back with the 7th end action in this 8-end game from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg, supported by RE/MAX professionals Gord and Christy Green.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Levitt Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Wednesday, January 7th, where the Medicine Hat Tigers roar into the BC capital, looking to dethrone the Victoria Royals. Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
The Max AAA Hockey Tournament is coming exclusively to Shaw. The best local and international AAA midget hockey teams battle it out for championship glory. For more than 3 decades, Max has proudly brought you the very best of AAA hockey in Canada. The Max AAA Midget Hockey Championship, New Year's Day, only on Shaw.
The following is a community-produced program brought to you by the Manitoba Curling Tour.
Well, we're in the 7th end of this 8-end game with Daley Peters scoring 2 to still trail, though, 5-2. This end is supported by the Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. And we'll see if that point made any difference, not only to momentum, but just in the kinds of shots that Daley can call.
Yeah, and now, you know, this is the first time in the game that Daley has not had the hammer, so it might be a different perspective for their team as well. They have been drawing to try and generate their points all along, so now they go on the opportunity to set up for steals. So we'll see how this plays out.
Oh, Chuckman.
We're going to assume by that it is super close, but maybe not in.
Okay, let's play easy bump.
So trying to play the tick shot. Marine, lots of people talk about playing these shots into the stone. Some play across the face.
Nice weight.
Your observation of what you prefer?
I don't mind playing across the face. At this point, though, across the face would jam it onto the other ones. So I think they're trying to hit it on the high side and just off to the side. Close. The other option is just tapping it back into the back 12-foot, getting it out of play. Brian Moffat always used to say that's not a bad shot either. At least it leaves, you know, if you miss the tick completely, you don't have anything. If you make it and push it back, you leave your rock up front that you can run back, you know, again. So there's options there.
I think it always is amazing when you see how people play the tick shot, about how amazing Lisa Weigel from
yes.
the Holland team really is. Her percentages are extraordinary for that shot.
As good as Steve Gould?
Oh, better.
Better.
Yeah, Stevie set the benchmark for sure, but it has become such a part of that team's game. They don't play it just late in the game. They play it from the first end out, just moving stones off that center path. So when you throw it all the time, it just becomes a part of what you do.
For sure.
Well, for Daley, he's got a couple of guards up. Marine going in. And one of the good things I think that Daley can take out of this game, regardless of outcome, is when you look at the cumulative standards, statistics, his leads at 92, both his second and third are at 90%. Daley is at 60, and it was those struggles early when he gave up 2 pairs of deuces.
Yeah, and he'll look back at that, and really, that was the difference in this game.
Sure.
Just giving up those 2 steals right off the bat.
Wow. Touched them all. Got rid of both guards.
Great shot.
Well, Dennis is a great player. Played third for many years. Not only does he clean up the front, but he moves the stone off to the side. Gets it out of the 4-foot. Pretty effective.
Very nice. So Daley will just ask Taryn to put up a guard.
And there's those great numbers we just talked about. When he's looking down, they feel that it picked right out of his hand. That has been the way this game has gone.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think so.
That'll give David Bone the opportunity to hit and roll out, keep it a clean house.
Yep. Yep. It's good, it's good, it's good.
So Brendan Taylor will make his way down to the hack and throw an out turn up front.
Looking for a guard, Maureen? Is that what
Yes,
this
he's
call?
looking for a guard.
Oh, we wanted a guard, didn't we?
Oh, maybe he was calling it in the forefoot.
Well, I think he did want a guard. Just that expression kind of tells it all.
Brendan Taylor, that was his first rock. He is originally from Ontario and lives in Brandon.
Yep.
One of your people?
He's one of my people.
Yep.
I guess a guard there.
Yep.
So ignoring that bone stone off to the right, that's biting, and putting up a guard. Basically, it's they have to steal. They need to get some points.
So fast forward this, Maureen. So they're playing guards. If the situation were the same on Daley's final, would you expect him to try to draw around that corner and steal, or would you expect him to hit it and hope to take three coming home?
Well, I would think he hasn't had much luck with the hammer. You know, it's basically you have to try something different. You have to change it up. You know, it's kind of how you're feeling out there and what's working for you.
Yeah.
So he's going to attempt to draw around that 12-foot rock.
And he will be heavy. And so David Bone will look to split the house to lie 2.
Well, that's kind of been the way for Daley this game. His weight's been a little bit off on hits and draws, and I think if he looks back at this, consistency in that has been his struggle.
Good line.
David will split the house. I don't know if he's thrown a draw this game. It's been a long
while,
time.
that's for sure.
He's thrown a lot of doubles. Double takeouts, triple takeouts.
Well, you talked about very quick conditions before the game started, Maureen. This rock's definitely still sliding.
Well, Daley is trying to think how he can generate a steal here. He could freeze down to the the bone stone at the back of the 12-foot. You could try that draw around again on the right side of the sheet around that high 12-foot rock.
And that does look like it is what he's going to do. So final stone here for Daley Peters as we play in 7. Last rock advantage does belong to David Bone, lying 2. And that stone will not finish at all. It is wide open, and so it will be a hit and stick for 3, at which point you could expect to see the gloves come off. That would be an 8-2 lead for David Bone. And a great chance to put his team back at the Safeway Championship.
Just wants to remove the yellow stone.
So it is over, and it will go into the books as a 7-2 victory for David Bone over Daley Peters. That comes along with it a wonderful $1,600 check, but more importantly, a trip to the Safeway Championships. We'll be back right after this for the post-game show live from Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
At Go Winnipeg, we get to do things a little bit differently than other stations.
It all starts with sitting down to draw a picture.
We go past the basic facts and become storytellers, showing viewers what's happening in the city and beyond.
And I hope one day I can play in the Olympics.
Stories that may otherwise be missed yet matter so much to our community. We even hit the scene with special event live mobile coverage. That's the Shaw TV difference.
Don't miss the latest blockbuster on Shaw On Demand, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Take a look.
But heroes are not born. They're created. That's what your father and I were trying to do. Create heroes.
Go Winnipeg, go everywhere.
River and Osborne in the heart of Osborne Village.
And the Gaynor Family Regional Library.
From backyards to backstage, the stories that matter live on Shaw TV.
I'm here at the Mennonite Heritage Village. And we are here at Fort White Alive.
Here at the Main Street Farmers Market in Winnipeg's North End.
It is the Gimli Film Fest.
Go Winnipeg, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., 7 days a week, only on Channel 9.
The following is a community-produced program brought to you by the Manitoba Curling Tour.
Welcome back to Assiniboine Memorial. Kathy Gauthier with Maureen Bonner on side. Glad to have brought you the men's Manitoba Curling Tour finals. It will go into the books as a 7-2 victory for David Bone over Daley Peters, and we will now look back at the impact shot of the game.
Well, this is the third end. David Bone makes an exceptional double, basically triple. He hits every stone that counts and rolls away to lie 2.
And that was one of the many shots that he would make today. And David Bone, our winner this year, is standing by with Jessica.
All right, David, before the game you said in order to win you had to make your shots. You made your shots. It must feel pretty good right now.
Yeah, for sure. You know, just coming into this game, this whole weekend, you know, we did a little better than we expected by a lot. You know, and playing this game, you know, of course we expect a tough game from these guys, but you know, Daley let us off the hook a few times, and you know, the rolls and the breaks went in our way, and every time a roll or a break came, it was against them. It just wasn't their day, and you know, just went for us.
And now you have the berth into the provincial men's championships. How does that feel for you guys?
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, to come in into this field, we were one of the very last seeds. You know, this is only our third spiel of the year for us. We came in pretty low key, and but it just we built a little confidence as the weekend went on, and here we are. It's just pretty nice to be here now.
Thank you so much, David, and congratulations. We'll be back with the awards presentation right after this.
You're watching the 2014 Manitoba Curling Tour Championships. Shaw TV, community-created television.
Thanks very much to the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club on behalf of the Manitoba Curling Tour presented by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries. The Manitoba Men's Curling Tour Championship has been completed. The event has been wonderfully well hosted by the Assiniboine Memorial, and we've had great games all week. We have great champions in David and Dennis Bone, Brian Galbraith, Larry Solomon, who have won not just the Manitoba Curling Tour Championship, but an entry into the Safeway Championship in Brandon in early February. On behalf of the Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries Impact team, here is Impact Team Ambassador Jared Funk.
Hi, thanks for having us here today. On behalf of Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries and Impact Team, we are proud to be a title sponsor of this event here, and we congratulate you team making provincials, and good luck.
And if you would do the honors, sir.
All right, thank you to Resby and our Shaw TV broadcast team, and stay with us right here on Shaw TV because we are going to have the women's final coming up right ahead. Thanks for watching.